Here's what heaven celebrates when the lost are found. I tell you that in the same way, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. Just in case anyone missed it, 3 verses later, Jesus just ran it back. In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. And be really honest with yourself. In your time at Bridgetown, whether that's 6 weeks or 6 months or a couple of decades, how many people have you personally invited into this family? How many Sundays have you sat in this church extra nervous because there was a friend sitting next to you and you had no idea how they were interacting, and you were sitting there with your hands on your, sitting on your hands thinking, oh my goodness, John Mark, do not say that way. How many times, I'm just kidding, he's never said anything the wrong way. How many times have you taken the risk of sharing the intimacy of your community with an outsider? How many times have you dismissed yourself from inviting a friend into an Alpha course without ever even having a conversation with Jesus about it? And look, I know that COVID has complicated this whole concept drastically. So if you just look at the recent past, there's plenty of valid barriers. But what I'm getting at, the heart of this thing is, would you, in a core description of your own personality, describe yourself as an invitational person? Or to ask it a little more directly and maybe a little bit more biblically, are you living a life over which heaven is celebrating? Or silent? And the only reason I ask is because of the priority of Jesus. Because you cannot follow this rabbi. You cannot come behind him and practice his way without regularly looking at someone else and saying with sincerity in your heart, come and see. Your own healing and wholeness is all caught up in this awkward journey to the edge of your comfort zone to offer that invitation to another. Now, whether you like it or not, I'm going to bring this as close as I possibly can. According to Pew Research, Portland is the most religiously unaffiliated city in America. And to spare you more stats, I'll just say this, that if you crunch all of the numbers, you end up with a tiny fraction of our city that is following Jesus. Now, Jesus talked about leaving the 99 to go after the one. The mission in Portland is more like leaving the one to go after the 99. And the whole logic behind Jesus' parable was that the flock can rely on each other, nourish each other, find safety in each other, but the heart of the shepherd is to go after the one lost, the one who's alone and wandering without all of that. But the psychology of spirituality in an urban environment like this one is just stay safe with the flock. Just in a hyper-secular, pluralistic, intellectually intimidating city like Portland, we tend to think that the fight of our faith is for survival. We get this survival spirituality in the city that says, stay safe with the flock. Just don't get eaten up by the big bad city. Just hold on to your convictions against all cost. It's a survival spirituality that says, as long as I'm in my community, as long as I'm balanced, I'm rested, I'm spiritually and emotionally healthy, as long as I've got my God and my people, I'm good. But that is not the spirituality of Jesus. And I'm preaching to myself here, just so you know. I wrote this talk to me this week. Jesus is doing everything he can to convince us of this. You are the dangerous ones. You are not defensive and on your heels. You are the dangerous ones. You are the ones with 2 feet firmly planted in the only kingdom that lasts. You are the ones whose identity is hidden away in a victory that has already been won. You are the ones filled with the power that broke the back of death itself. That victory has already been won. The future is secure. You cannot lose. You're the dangerous ones. And I completely believe that God has designed you as an individual and placed you into human history at this moment, in this part of the world, with this personality, and this set of hobbies and preferences, because you are the best person he's ever designed to reach the people who are around you. And if you live without a belief that God is living and active and pursuing those around you, you probably won't notice even if he is. But if you live with a belief that God is living and active, you will notice and join in on what he is already doing.